Hey guys, how are you? I hope you're having a wonderful day. And thank you so much for joining us here at Indigo Moon. So, I was on a bus recently, and while on this bus, I sat in the middle section of the bus, closer to the back. And oh, when I got on the bus, there were no people really in the front. But I sat there because I knew that in the front of the bus, basically that section is really reserved for the senior citizens, and you want to give them a little space because sometimes it's more of them than the younger population of people. So as the trip goes on, more kids came on the bus, and the boys got on in the front of the bus, and they took up all the seats from the front area. So they were playing with things and stuff was in the aisle or whatever. But I said, I'm not going to say anything. But this old lady finally gets on the bus. And it's like it was hard for her to get down the aisle. And then she couldn't sit in the front. She had to come closer to the back. So I said, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to, because it seems like I don't want to be a problem, whatever. But then the more I looked at it, I said, no, someone has to say something because, I don't know what's going on with these boys, what's going on. So I said, boys, you know that area, the front of the bus is really reserved for the elderly and for the people who have, handicapped special needs. So they were looking at me and looking at each other. And then the old lady, I said, she's having difficulty coming down this aisle because you guys have all your stuff, your basketball, your shirts, everything's in the aisle. How's she supposed to walk? She's a senior citizen. That's the reason why the front of the bus is reserved for the elderly. So they're still looking at me kind of weirdly. And the guy behind me says, I didn't even know that. He said, and if I didn't know that, maybe they don't. And I said, you know what, you're absolutely right. Boys, did you know that? And they were looking at me still bewildered. So I said, well, there's a sign on both sides of the front side glasses. Look at the glass. It has a handicap sticker up there, and it also has instructions. And they read the sign, and they started moving. I said, you know what, guys? Thank you. I appreciate that. Before that, I did say they should apologize to the older woman because, she almost fell trying to get to her seat. And they were looking at each other like, that's you had your stuff in the aisle. You had your stuff. I said, guys, you don't have to blame each other. But either way, they moved. And I said, that is just, I told them, I said, I'm really proud of you guys for just getting up and moving. That is so good because the next elderly person or person with special needs will be able to get on the bus. And I made the mark of, I put my fist on my chest and said, that's love. I appreciate that. And I told them, I said, I apologize for, I'm sorry for not realizing that perhaps you guys didn't know. I thought it was something that everyone knew. And the guy behind me said, I really didn't know. I'm appreciative that you brought that up. This is where it comes into play that we cannot always assume. And I had to apologize because I assumed that they knew. How many things happen or in our surroundings every day that we don't really know? We're not aware or conscious of things sometimes because our mind is focused on what we're doing. Those boys, this is their summertime. They're focused on what they want to do. They want to go play basketball at the gym because it's air conditioned. It was burning up. It was really warm outside. If it's raining outside, they're going to try to run back to the gym again and try to go there and play basketball or whatever it is that they're choosing to do. I assume that they knew something that they did not know. And now that they know, perhaps they will make sure that they sit further and further to the back portion of the bus or the train, depending on, what it is that they're doing. It's important that we realize that we cannot assume, and there's always something that we're needing to learn. So thank you so much, Indigo Moon. You have a wonderful day.